So we're continuing on with section 2.4, part 1. We are finding arc length. And so the equation that we were using, that we just derived in the last video, was that arc length is equal to the integral of the square root of 1 plus f prime of x squared. Now the first example that we did, fairly easy one, it all worked out really good. This time we are using the equation y equals 3x squared plus 4. This one is no longer linear, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to derive. So let's go ahead up this example, and the question on your homework is like this. Just set it up slowly. So we have our equation, f of x, or y in this case. So let's find the derivative, y prime is equal to 6x, and then it asks which one of these is the correct integral. Well, if we're going to put this into our equation, we're going to integrate, and our limits of integration are given to us already, so from x to 3, or from 0 to 3. So we're going to integrate from 0 to 3 of the square root of 1 plus f prime of x, which is 6x, and then square all of that. And then we have our dx on there also. So then that will simplify as the integral from 0 to 3 of the square root of 1 plus 36x squared dx. Okay, and then in the homework here, they are asking you to do a u substitution. You can go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and work through this as well. But if you watch the videos to this, they will go through and they will show you the formulas to integrate that. But what I'm going to say is just go ahead and use your calculator. We're not going to memorize any formulas, and I don't need to give those to you for the test if you can use your calculator. And since we're doing everything online anyway, I'm going to say just go ahead and use your calculator. I know a lot of you already know how to do that. I'll go ahead and post a video on the calendar as well, though. That will help you go through on the TI-83, which I think most everybody had. Otherwise, you can just Google your own if you have a different calculator and how to enter an integral into your calculator. Okay, so they want us to use u equals 6x. So we would need to find du. Du would equal 6 dx. We don't have any 6 up here to take the place of that, so we're going to solve for dx. And we know now that dx equals 1/6 du. And we can make that substitution. Also, we will need to change our limits of integration. So if u equals 6x, well, up at the top, we had our limits of integration from x equals 0 to x equals 3. So let's go ahead. If we put in 0, then our limit of integration for u would also be 0. And if we put in 3, our limit of integration would be 18. Okay, so from 0 to 18 will be our new limits of integration. So now plugging that back in, we have u equals 6x. So that's going clear back up to here. This would be the best place to redo that integration. So let me do like a different color so we know why we're doing this. So we would have the integral, our limits of integration changed from 0 to 18 of the square root of 1 plus u squared du. And so our answer for that will be this one down here. All right, so then I put this into my calculator. So I'll kind of basically run through how you do that on your calculator. You'll want to go into math. So click on math and then number 9, or scroll down to where you see number 9, and it'll say FNINT for integration. And then the very first thing that you need to put in is what the equation is. Now you can put the equation in right here if you want to. Oh, I forgot to put my 1/6 out here in front. You can put the equation in right here if you want to, but what I found works best if you put your equation into the y equals. So just go into y equals and enter in your equation the square root of 1 plus u squared. I could have put the 1/6 there also. I did that at the very end. I divided by 6, but you could have also put in your 1/6 at that point and do your equation. And then when you get here, if you've done that, then go to math number 9. Like we said, you've got your integral on here. Then go to the VARS by your clear button. It says VARS, which stands for variables. So the different variable options, click that. And then at the very top, the 2 tabs that you can go by is either variables or Y variables. So go over to Y variables, and we want to use that function that we entered in. So hit enter on number 1. It gives you all of the different variables that you could have entered in. So I could have entered in a whole bunch of different Y equations if I would have wanted to. Mine is Y sub 1, so I'm going to hit enter there. And so it goes parenthesis, y sub 1, then we're going to do comma. Then it wants to know what variable we're integrating by. So I'm going to put in an x. And then our limits of integration. So 0, comma 18. And then end the parentheses. So I have f, n, int, and then 4 different things separated by commas inside those parentheses. First thing is your equation. You can plug that in and just use your variable y if you want to. And then comma x variable, saying that we're integrating in terms of x. And then our limits of integration, which are going to be from 0 to 18. And then the answer I get after I put all of that in, and divided by 6 also, then I get the answer of 27.3403. So taking this test, what I'm really going to be looking for is your equations. Just making sure you know these equations. So make sure you show me as much work as you can on these.